Those of you who follow me on social media know me as a transformational coach and therapist. I work with professional women who want to get that beautiful work-life balance. They do brilliantly at work and the home life feels weird, or they feel they're constantly juggling. Anyway, I don't want to do a sales pitch. But during lockdown, the third one, I noticed myself getting into a funk. So I started to unpick it and realised that a lot of my upfunkness is because I'm not following bits of me that I love. Now, I'm a dancer, a retired dancer, I'll add. I live on a boat, so dancing is pretty difficult to do in the way that I dance. I'm a painter, and again, not so easy. I could do it, but not so easy. And I like to write. I like to write about experiences and so on. And now that I can do. So I started to do this. I produced a PDF actually about the transformation and the things that I found out about what was going on with me during lockdown for me to go into a funked state, into a depressed state, whereas I wouldn't normally. And if you want the PDF, contact me, lou@thesinginzookeeper.com, and I'll send you a copy of the PDF. It might help, you never know, it might be interesting. But what I want to do is tell you a story, one of these stories that I've written, because I've started to do it, and as you can see, my funk has gone. My funk monkey, I like it. It makes me think of, I don't know, James Brown. I've got a funk monkey. So when I lived overseas, I'd been there for a year and I'd settled in. I don't want to go into all the details because I'll be here forever, but when I first moved there, I was unusual because I was a white woman with blonde hair, and I was very worried about my daughter coming over because she's 6 foot and very, very beautiful. And the Filipinos don't hold back. They tell you exactly what they think of you as you're walking down the street. It took me a little bit of time to get used to it. So I worried about my daughter coming over because she actually doesn't like to be the centre of attention, though she deserves it, but she doesn't like it. So anyway, that's by the by. She brought a friend over and we had a fantastic time, so much so, but by the time she went home, I was known as Chloe's mom, and I'm the one that lived there. Sorry, I mentioned your name, my darling. I'm sorry. But anyway, the year after that, she'd had such a good time that she bought a lot of her uni cronies with her. So a whole gaggle of 21-year-olds came and they stayed with me. And they were lovely. They were absolutely lovely. Did typically what 21-year-olds do, and they didn't get up until midday, and they partied all night and then didn't get up till midday. So they missed a lot of the island. I lived on a stunning, stunning island in the Philippines. Anyway, that's the mom in me coming out. But I want to teach you a story about grace, because you know, as a 21-year-old, you know everything and you wouldn't own up to being wrong, and your ego is in the way and you really can't break through that barrier. Well, sometimes that doesn't change. I was given an invitation, and so the gaggle of 21-year-olds that were staying with me, given an invitation to go on a zip line, and the zip line was set up so the zip line went one way and a cable car came back the other way. And I'm fine on a cable car, but I'm very scared of heights. But on a cable car, for some reason or other, because I'm not in control, I'm fine. I can deal with it. I can deal with it. So the bus from the place that we were staying, bless them, took us up there for free. The staff at the place where I was staying were just delightful, and they really looked after me. I really got full on princess treatment. So they took us up there in the little bus and they dropped us off and left us there. Fine. It saved us paying for a taxi. Fantastic. I got there, booked us in, and we found out then that the cable car wasn't running. So I'd got two choices. I'd either got to do the zip line, or I got to do a 3.5-hour walk back in 30-degree heat, 90% humidity. Dilemma. I decided to do the zip line because I'm a lazy motherfucker. I didn't want to do that walk. Now, I started by looking over the edge where we were going to go from. And I started to melt down because I am terrified of heights, or I was terrified of heights, absolutely petrified. And I started to break out into a cold sweat. And this is the first platform. This isn't the platform we're actually going from. The platform we're going from is upstairs, and I'm sweating already. So I start to go up the stairs, and one of my daughter's crew's like, "Hey, you'll be all right. Don't worry about it. You know, all you gotta do, just look ahead, breathe, and don't think about it." Now, I'm hanging onto the banister because I am literally dying here. My legs are not supporting my weight. I am that covered in fear. Yet this 21-year-old's telling me just to breathe and not look down. Now, actually, it had never occurred to me not to breathe and not to look down. Of course, I knew not to look down. I knew not to breathe, but I was not taking kindly to a 21-year-old telling me what I should do to get over my fear, because I was in absolute bits. And this is just climbing up to the platform above. I hadn't even got there yet. Yeah, it'll be absolutely fine. I teach climbing for a living. From my perspective, I don't give a fucking shit what you do. I am going to die. So anyway, we get to the edge of the platform, and I am really, I've lost the plot. So my daughter, bless her cotton socks, says, "I'll come down with you, Mom." That's fine. "I'll come down with you," which is amazing. Now, I'd watched them go down on the zip line on the chairs, like, so they're sitting up, and they were spinning. I thought, I can't do that, can't do that. And then the other option is to go down in, like, it's like a sleeping bag contraption. So you go down belly first, suspended above and belly first. That didn't appeal to me very much either, because it's a 400-foot drop below the platform, and you have to walk across a grid that you can see straight through down to the floor. Then you get in your harness, or you're in your harness, and then while you're on the edge of this platform, then you lean over, so there's nothing below you. I was absolutely bricking it, and I could hear this young girl behind me. "There, you'll be absolutely all right. Just breathe. You'll be fine. Don't worry about her. Yeah, be Grace." So Chloe comes down, we both go down together, and we pushed off. And within a second or two, I'd let go of my fear. I'd got no choice, and just loved the view. We're going over the golf course. Out to the one side is the beautiful, beautiful Pacific Sea. Out to the other side is forests and woodland, and it is just blissful. So I just let go of the fear, got down to the other side. It's all beautifully done. It slows down, they get us off, and we wait. We've got the cameras waiting for the other guys to come over, and then we put on a little bus which has got seats on both sides, rather than the seats going where the driver is facing the front. We face each other like a little safari truck, so we're facing each other, and I'm closest to the driver, and this young lady's up the other end of the bus, and she's, "I told you it would be all right." I'm so glad she was at the other end of the bus, because I was so angry by being told and coached and put in my place by this 21-year-old. I could have launched at her. Now this, is a 54-year-old woman who should know better, but I was fucking fuming because I was terrified. And I, at this point in time, was pleased with myself for actually doing what I thought I couldn't do. And this little voice at the other end of the bus, "I told you it would be a race." So my hackles went up. So we got back, and the day afterwards, they had decided they were going to do a discovery dive. Now, you've got to bear in mind that I'm a very experienced nitrox diver, and I've been diving practically every day for a whole year. So I was right on it, right on it. So I didn't dive with them, but I went out on the boat. It's just a nice experience to be out at sea on the boat. I can sunbathe, I can read my book while they're all pootling around underneath. So they did their training in the morning. You have to do a certain amount of training in the morning. And then in the afternoon, you go out and do your Discover dive. And the Discover dive isn't very deep. You can literally touch the bottom and shoot up to the top with nothing adverse happening to you. They wouldn't do it to you. You're not going to get the bends. But anyway, the boat's going out. The masters are kitting up all the crew. Bear in mind, my daughter also is an experienced diver, so there's no fear coming off her either. And I can hear sobbing coming from the top of the boat. And it's this young lady. She's got all her kit on and she's got her mask on and she's crying because she's fucking scared. She's fucking terrified. Did I gloat? Of course I did. Of course I did. Because, oh, you'll be fine. Just hold on to your mask and drop over the side of the boat. You'll be absolutely fine. Tell you what, smile as you go over. Because I promise you, if you don't look down, you'll be fine. That's me gloating. You'll be absolutely fine. You'll love it. Why I'm doing it in her accent, I have no idea, but I am. But I gloated. I really took great pleasure in gloating. Anyway, over she went, and they all went, and I sort of peered over the side of the boat and I could see them diving, and my daughter's on her back giving me the thumbs up, and you know, they're swimming around. I can't distinguish between the divers, so I don't know who it was that was scared. Anyway, they come up to the surface and this young lady is smiling. She's smiling from ear to ear. Did I gloat? Of course I fucking gloated. Told you it would be all right, didn't I? Told you you'd love it. Told you you'd come up with a smile. Now, I didn't feel very proud about it, but I was so angry with her still from the day before for not improving my situation, let's put it that way. So I didn't feel it was my grace to reassure her and tell her that she'd be okay. Well, I did, but I did it in a scathing way. Now, this is where grace comes in. Because as a 21-year-old, you know everything, don't you? And certainly older people can't tell you how to live your life. And I was sitting in my room later on that evening, and there was a tuk, 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 tuk on the door. And I opened the door, and there was this young lady. And I still haven't managed to tell this little bit of the tale without feeling it in my heart. Because this young lady came into my room and said, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I didn't understand how scared you were. And for me, just to offer advice for the sake of offering advice on something that I'm not scared of. Please forgive me, because I was fucking scared when I went off that boat. And you gave me reassurance. Actually, in my head, I wasn't giving her reassurance. But that is grace. That young lady took her ego out of the scenario and came to talk to me. Who is the bigger person out of the two of us? Because it ain't me.